There's the listing approval, which is what happened yesterday, and then there's the approval of the product itself, which is still pending. What's that is called the registration statement. That we need to find out. Let me say this. This product is eligible for listing, but it will not actually be trading until that registration statement
so it's
is
okay
approved.
In theory?
So it's a step. It's a step in the direction.
But does it mean it's inevitable?
I think it means it's inevitable. We went through this same process with the Bitcoin product,
right,
where almost all of the questions were decided. The question that was decided yesterday, to speak technically, is that the market is efficacious enough for this product to be listed on the exchange.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
That was what was decided. But there are other questions out there.
Oh, let's talk about those questions. But as you know, Gary Gensler and the SEC went kicking and screaming to allow the Bitcoin ETF, and only did so because a judge effectively said you have to. This is different. So what is different this time?
What is different this time is there was a settled issue of whether the underlier, Bitcoin, here the underlier is Ethereum, was a security or not, or transactions in Bitcoin were securities transactions. The SEC has not definitively said, up till now, and they still haven't definitively said, that underlying transactions in Ethereum are not securities transactions.
Is part of this because of what Congress just did this week to pass this first crypto bill and basically say it's going to be the CFTC that is overseeing all of this? Is this them putting another chip on the table saying, wait a second, we want to claim our legal framework for this?
My view, and my view for a long time in this program, is that progress, development, whatever you want to call it in this space, was always going to be incremental. What did they do this week in Congress or over the last couple of weeks? They made more clarity around custody and the cost of providing custody services for digital assets because they weren't happy with the way the SEC had done it. Now with this bill, they're saying, look, we want a path for products like Ethereum, other digital assets, to be able to trade like securities. And whether they're classified as commodities or whether they're classified as securities, we, Congress, want to see that path. And that's what you're seeing playing out.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're in the Cash App. And we have Jay Clayton putting the drama inside this Ethereum ETF. Guys, we know they gotta keep movies going on. It's uncertain whether it's really going to launch. Guys, we know this Ethereum ETF is definitely going to launch because it's part of the fourth industrial revolution. But they're going to always play the Hegelian dialectic. And we have regulation for crypto coming inside the United States. And guys, we know when it comes to the Constitution, these stable coins are not legal. But what do the NWO do? They write it on in. They take that pen and write whatever they want. And they get the politicians to play the Hegelian dialectic. So everyone chooses a side, but then of course they move the agenda forward. Like Jay Clayton. Remember, Jay Clayton is the one who started all these lawsuits. He's the one started it with XRP and handed it over to Gary Gensler where he could kick the can down the road so the emerging markets rise first. And the United States and the West is going to follow. Remember, guys, we already have the infrastructure. When it came to the emerging markets, they did not have the infrastructure, and then on top of it, you have a lot of poverty there. So they will accept anything, especially if you're giving them free money. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. Now, in the fourth industrial revolution, cannabis and gaming is going to be big. You know, I've been over it plenty of times. And now we have Big Pharma wants to get in on it because they know people are going to be sitting at home getting free money, and I'll let you finish the rest. And then we have the crisis movie starting. And remember, guys, when it comes to this next crisis, it's going to be event after event after event. We know the cyber attacks on infrastructure. We have the drums are beating, and another health situation is coming. So, guys, make sure you're studying. Make sure you're in the lab. So, therefore, you're not falling for the devil's tricks. Because we know at the end of the day the goal, and that's this new digital economy. All the chaos is going around you so they can bring in the robots, algorithms, and drones and the sheep that go inside the metaverse. And never forget this is biblical. And remember the Crypto Teacher told you. Because he knows when it comes to the NWO. It's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Question that was a problem for me, and I've said this many times before, was the market efficacious enough? Was that spot market for Bitcoin, spot market for Ethereum? And it's developed, remarkably over time, where people are very confident that trading is,
So you think you might have been able to get your head around it? If you were in the position today.
Yeah, I can get my head around it, and I'm interested to see what the conditions will be for the Ethereum exchange-traded product when it actually gets there. What is it that you have to show to prove that Ethereum is not a security, or if it is a security, how it works?
But part of the thing, and we used to talk about it, we used to use this analogy about Broadway tickets.
Yep.
You remember?
Yeah.
You want to tell the audience about Broadway tickets? Because I don't know if that piece of it's changed at all.
All right. Well, this is how you tell the difference between something that is a security and then becomes a commodity. Picture a play.
Yep.
Play hasn't started. I come to you guys and I say, you know what? I'm going to put this on. I'm going to get a great composer. I'm going to get a great producer, great actor. I'm going to get a venue. Tell you what, give me your money, and I'll give you tickets for that play when it's on.
Right.
You're making an investment. You're buying a security. Those tickets represent a security transaction. You're hoping that my efforts deliver a great return to you. 6 years later, the play is a huge success. Somebody walks up to the box office, buys the same ticket to the same show. That's just a ticket. It's a commodity. It's not an investment in the future of the show. That's how something that is used to build out a network, using a token to build out a network and say, if this network gets built out, your token's going to be worth a lot of money, is a security. And then when the network's built out, the token is just for use on the network.
Is thinking about cannabis and the addiction market or the addiction of cannabis. There's a big debate about whether cannabis unto itself is addictive at all, though. Mm-hmm. So how are you playing this, if you will?
Well, cannabis, alcohol, what I tend to refer to as the normalized areas of addiction. People believe they're safe, they're legal in many states, and the U.S. government's looking to take it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. But when used in excess, it causes issues and it causes addiction. I think we can all say we know people that use alcohol in excess and they need help to get off of that. There aren't pharmacological interventions. Well, we're seeing the same thing happening in cannabis. 20 years ago, THC levels 3 to 6%. Today, on average, over 20%. And then you've got high doses like tinctures, gummies. They're over 70%. Those high THC levels are incredibly addictive. They cause psychosis, mental things. They lead to schizophrenia when you have heavy usage all day long. So for the people that recreationally are using it...
Legalization a good move, then?
Well, I think, again, it has to do with how you're using this.
But if THC levels have gone up, even while we're supposedly regulating this and trying to make a better control of it, I mean, you can't walk down the streets in New York City without getting a contact high.
No, I totally agree, and I think this is where it comes to how is the drug going to be used as it's legalized, if it's used.
And so what are you working on as it relates to this?
Yeah, so we have a Phase 2B asset. It's to help with cannabis use disorder. It works on the same receptor as the cannabis. It's a specific signaling, so when THC enters the bloodstream, goes to that receptor, it blocks the receptor and prevents the high. Right. So that we'll look to bring that into Phase 3, assuming the results come out positive in Q3. In next year in 2025.
Which means what, though? Like, you have to take this to say, okay, I'm not going to get the contact high, and then eventually I stop taking it? Or
that's exactly it, Becky.
But then if I want to get the high, I'm going to stop taking your drug.
Well, the thing is, what you have now is you have a number of people coming forward with this, going to their physicians saying, I am addicted to cannabis. I'm using it heavily many days a week, and I can't stop.
But is it a shot that you give me and it lasts, or is it something that I have to personally take myself every day?
It's an oral doses every day.
Let me ask you a separate.
In the U.S., the thing that's been alarming about this is that we've suddenly seen an outbreak in cows. That's new. We've never seen this species infected before. So for the last few months, increasingly, we're seeing more herds with evidence that there's bird flu in their milk. We've seen in each week a new set of incentives trying to get the farmers to buy in to testing.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence.
I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my new Road Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.